Hello and welcome to the CNBC-TV18 Mumbai studio. I'm Ekta Batra and you're watching your stocks this Monday afternoon. Well, it's turning out to be a session where we're just about consolidating for the markets at this point in time. We have the mid-cap index, which has given up gains after hitting a record high. And however, the Nifty is holding with a gain of around 0.6%. The Bank Nifty is also cooled off from the day's high after hitting record levels. So nonetheless, just about consolidation and maybe a little bit of profit booking from the top, which is taking place for the markets. Well, joining us today, we have Astha Jain of Hem Securities, Rajat Bose joining in on the technicals to answer all of your stock queries. Well, before we kick off the show, Rajat, well, it's a session which has shown a lot of momentum but is cooled off from the day's high. Your approach?
Yeah, good afternoon, Ekta, and thank you for having me on this show. Regarding the Nifty, what I would say is that I was in my morning market outlook, I wrote that today there could be a top in the sense that there would be an interim top around, say, 22,700 to about 22,735. The high had been 22,697. It's an interim top in the sense that after this level is reached, the 22,700 to about 22,734, we might see a minor correction. But so long as the minor correction doesn't take the Nifty below 22,300, there would be hardly much of a weakness. If it were to fall below 22,200, then there would be a bit more bearish pressure. But mostly what I feel is that after this level is reached, we would see some range-bound movement between 22,000 and 22,750. Then there could be another upswing. I have been mentioning that by the end of the election, that is early part of June, we would see a top around 24,000 to about 24,150. So those who are actually planning to buy at lower levels can continue to do so. My only suggestion would be that if you are holding some profit at the moment, book some profits and buy at lower levels. But also when it reaches close to about 24,000, one should be booking some profits.
Okay, all right. Well, an interim top is probably what the market has created right now. That's the word coming in from Rajat. Let's get in queries now. We have Sanjeev who writes to us from New Delhi. He holds 1,000 shares of LTI Mindtree, which he's bought at around 4,500 odd rupees. So he wants to know what to do. He's sitting on a very good profit at this point in time. He wants to know the future prospects of his current investment. Well, earnings around the corner, Astha, but nonetheless, how would you approach LTI Mindtree?
Hi, good afternoon. Talking about LTI Mindtree, I think if he wants, he can book partial profit or he can hold partially for the possible price target of 5,300 to initially 5,300. Now, why I'm saying this? Because yes, earnings round the corner. So what we are expecting is the lower single-digit growth in their revenues, and this is what management has also guided. Although in the past quarters, they have shown strong TCV and their TCV is worth of $1.5 billion, which they have shown. So the strong TCV is there and they are able to manage and book orders on the back of a strong brand value the company is garnering right now. But going ahead, we think that there might be some hiccups in the Q4 FY24 for the IT companies, and that's why I'm advising booking partial profit and hold partially for the possible price target of 5,300 at the initial levels.
Okay, all right. And Rajat, what about you? Because LTI Mindtree is corrected significantly from the top, from levels of over 6,400 odd rupees, which was its best level that we've seen. But that was on the 15th of Jan. Do you think that there's a possibility it'll retrace back to those levels and one should at least stay on till then?
Well, at the moment, it is in a downtrend. At least the weekly chart shows that there is quite a bit of bearish pressure. I mean, the bears are now on the driver's seat, but it has come to significant support area. That is around 4,800. So I'm not expecting it to fall below 4,800 and it could bounce back. But for it to become bullish again, it needs to take out the levels around, say, 53.75 to about 55. 100. Once that happens, you will see fresh traction coming in. Overall, if a person has invested in it for the longer term, meaning that say 3 to 5 years or so, there is absolutely no problem. This is only a course correction. But short-term players, they need to watch out for the levels of 48.50. If it were to fall below that, then be prepared that it might go down to something like 4,700 to about 45.50. That's the kind of outlook that I have on LTI Mindtree.
Okay, all right. A little bit of a bearish outlook there. Well, Praveen is on the line from Mumbai now. He has investments in South Indian Bank. Hi, Praveen.
Hi, madam.
Hi. Tell us, South Indian Bank.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, madam. I have bought a South Indian Bank of 10,000 shares at 17 rupees on average in 2018-19. Now, should I hold or sell? I got the bonus also, 2,500 shares. Should I sell it or not? Or hold it?
Okay, all right. All right. So he's bought it close to the bottom. The bottom was around 14 odd rupees, the 52-week low for that particular counter. Rajat, let's come to you first. The best levels it's seen is around 37 odd rupees in the past year. What's your sense on South Indian Bank? Should Praveen still hold?
Well, I would say that it is not falling below the 20-week moving average. To translate it onto the daily chart, 100-day exponential moving average is giving it support at current levels of around 28.60. What is the kind of downside that I see even from here on, since it is in a downtrend? It can go down to 24. But it is unlikely to give any major upswing because over the last 1.5 years or a little more than that, it has moved up from 8 to 36 and now it is on a corrective swing. So this corrective swing may take some time, some more time. I, for one, would have chosen IDFC First Bank over South Bank, but that's my perspective. If he wants to continue with it, there is no problem.
Okay, all right. And Astha, what would you recommend on South Indian Bank? You know, they did come out with their Q4 update a couple of days ago. The gross advances were up around 3.5% Q on Q. The deposits were up around 3 odd % Q on Q. It did correct a little bit post that as well.
Yes, but what I am looking after is the future strategy which this bank is now betting upon, because they are now totally moving towards, increasing their MSME as well as SME portfolio. So first point is there. Secondly, they are even focusing on increasing their branch productivity as well as getting the businesses from the other partnership also. So that will also help the company in driving the growth as well as financial earnings going ahead, but in the longer term. So we are expecting the loan growth of around 13 to 15% CAGR from FY24 to FY26. So looking after all this and in the light of all above, I think it's a hold from our side with the price target of 32 to 34 at the initial level. So I would recommend a hold on the stock for the price target of 32 to 34 at the initial level. But in the long term, I think the stock can perform even better.
Okay, all right. 32 to 32 odd is the target price coming in on South Indian Bank on the fundamentals. So that's the view coming in on that particular one. Vignesh writes to us from Pune. He holds 150 shares of IEX, which he's bought at around 226 rupees. Wants to know what to do, whether he should book his losses or he should sell at current levels. So what would be the recommendation on this one? He's sitting on a loss when it comes to it. And in fact, the stock has corrected quite significantly from its 52-week high of 173 odd. Well, Astha, let's come to you on this one first. What would you recommend? Do you think it would be prudent to cash out?
I think one can hold for the price target of 160 to 170. This is what I believe. So now talking about this counter, because what we have seen is the surge in the volume in the quarter gone by, and it was around 17%. In fact, they have seen some sort of margin expansion also. So what we are believing that this counter will continue to see uptick in their volumes. And if it will be the case, then definitely some more expansion in the stock prices is looking ahead. So in the light of all this, we believe that one can hold the stock. Maybe the price target can be set at around 160 to 165 at the initial level, which is higher than the cost price. This is what I believe. So it's better to wait for some time and then exit from this counter.
Okay, and Rajat, what about you on IEX?
See, if you are a longer term player, then there is no problem. I would say that one should continue to hold on till such time it falls below 125 or rather 120 decisively. Then it would become very bearish. Otherwise, this is actually consolidating. And for longer term players, one can expect further upswing once that major resistance of 175 gets taken out. Then you will see real traction in it. See, this consolidation is already 3 years old. So if one has patience, this stock has a lot of potential, especially the kind of formation that it is showing, and also so far the little about the fundamentals that I know, it suggests that there would be a lot of opportunities for this kind of a stock and it would do well. So I would suggest hold until it falls below 125 on closing price basis. Continue to stay invested. If at lower levels you want to buy more, you can buy more, but your horizon should be at least 2 to 3 years from now. Then you will get good appreciation. Generally, these kind of patterns have given very good appreciation in a lot of charts over the last, say, 1 or 2 years. So I'm quite confident that this will also bounce.
Okay, all right. So that's on IEX. Just want to pull up Lupin. They have just informed the exchanges that they've received US FDA approval just some time ago for Ingrezza generic, which is the generic version of this particular drug, Ingrezza. It is, eligible for 180-day shared exclusivity on this particular drug, and hence it would be significant. It has a good significant amount of sales as well. The product will be manufactured at the company's Nagpur facility. So that's the update coming in. That's what we know as of now. Ingrezza generic, that's the drug that they've received US FDA approval for, and they do have 180-day shared exclusivity on it. We'll take a short break. More queries on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. We still have with us Astha Jain and Rajat Bose to answer all of your stock queries. Well, before we move ahead, just wanted your quick word on Lupin and the approval that they've received currently, Astha.
So we are positive on this counter because on the back of the reasonable valuation, first of all, valuation was the key, and they have the presence in the various geographies, and they are looking after the geographical expansion also. And in fact, their domestic pipeline of the product is very strong. And along with this new announcement, I think definitely it will add on their strong pipeline of the product. So all these contribute and signaling towards the more higher stock prices, and our present target is around 1800 at the initial price.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get in let's get in a query from a viewer. We have Bhuvna, who writes to us from Chennai, holds 100 shares of ICICI Bank, which is bought at the rate of 725. So good profit there, and wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell at current levels. Well, Rajat, over to you on this one.
I would say one should continue to hold on because it is a slow mover, but it is going up. Maybe at the moment, HDFC Bank might look more attractive than this one, but this one is consolidating for the last 6-7 sessions. After that, it might still move up. And overall, the medium-term trend, the short-term trend, and the long-term trend, all three trends are up. So, I mean, one should continue and put a stop loss below 1,000 and continue to carry on.
Okay, and Astha, what about you?
Hold with a price target of 1200, because what we are expecting, although this bank may see some sort of moderation in their NIMs going ahead, But what is positive is that their treasury income should be higher. This is what we believe, and that will be helping the bank in showing strong performance. In fact, they will be able to manage their slippages also on the back of the recoveries, upgrades, etc. in their portfolio of MSME, etc. So we are thinking that this bank will show strong performance on the back of a strong operating income also. So our price target is 1200 and our stance is hold on this counter, as well as one can buy on the dips also. So this is what we believe for this stock.
Okay, all right. We have a query coming in on Titan now. Remember, it came out with its Q4 update. Sameer Joshi writes to us from Gujarat, holds 10 shares of Titan, which is bought at 3,000, wants to know what to do, whether he should buy more shares as well. What's your sense on this one, incorporating the Q3 update, Astha?
So hold and buy. Yeah, hold and buy. We are giving both the recommendation for this counter. So basically, and the target is same 4,000 to 4,200 for both of these recommendations. So talking about this counter, yes, the business update was quite strong. And one thing which we believe which keeps Titan differentiated from other counter is that they have an edge in their design as well as outsourcing. So this is what helping the company in showing strong performance. In fact, we have seen a strong growth in their SSG also, and in fact the brands and the watches and wearables are also performing well for this company. So all in all, on the back of strong update and on the back of a strong contribution from the studded jewelry part, we are expecting this counter to perform strongly in their financial earning going ahead, recommending a hold as well as buy for the price target of 4,000 to 4,200.
Okay, all right. Rajat, would you have a view on Titan?
Yeah, if you are a very long-term investor, then carry on. Otherwise, put a stop below 3,300 and then also continue to hold. I would like to say one thing, that this stock, if you look at a monthly chart, it has given huge run. Now, maybe we would be entering a phase of consolidation. It is quite possible that Astha's target of say 4,200 or so will be reached. But then over a period of time, you will see lots of sideways movement might happen in this, because this has a huge run. There had been a consolidation for some time in between, say, 21, 22. After that, again, a vertical run kind of thing is happening. So although it is a blue chip top of the line counters, but possibilities of very huge gains are limited as of.
Okay, all right. But the stock has given good returns in the past 12 months, up over 40-odd%. Prakash Sinha writes to us from Bihar, holds 20 shares of HDFC Bank, which is bought at 1,500 rupees per share. Wants to know what to do. What are the prospects of his holding here? So he's, sitting with HDFC Bank. Just today, Rajat, we had the bank nifty hit a record high, but HDFC Bank wasn't really, contributing to that, though it has, previously. But what is your sense in terms of what you would, how would you approach HDFC Bank on the technicals?
The HDFC Bank needs to take out 1,575 to 1,600, 1,611 or so. This is the area where lots of supplies may come again. And if it were to fall below 1,500 again, then also there will be more weakness. As of now, although it is showing a bounce back, but this is only, in my view, this is only a pullback kind of a rally. It is unlikely to sustain at higher levels. It will need to consolidate at lower levels where the recent low might be breached. So at higher levels, one should exit. And this is not the time you should accumulate HDFC Bank if you are a long-term investor. Short-term players can always play. Like I have given a buy call at, say, 1473, 1535 to 1550 was the target. The target has been met. That kind of thing you can do. But don't go for a longer-term investment in this, because there is a distribution threat that is still there at higher levels.
Okay. And what about you, Astha?
Yes, the bank is able to show strong financial performance on the back of the update which they have given, but we really need to see how it's going to perform in their Q4 earnings. But altogether, having said that, because there is an increase in the deposit growth and which was higher than the expectation, and now in fact their LDR ratio or the credit deposit ratio has also seen some sort of a moderation or improvement. This bank can move a little upside from here, but we really need to see how the earnings will pan out. So my stances hold for the target of 1700, but do keep eye on the earnings also. And once again, review your position after the earnings.
Okay, all right. Well, now we have Rahul Suri, who writes to us from New Delhi, holds 20 shares of ONGC, which is, he's bought at around 150 odd rupees. So he's sitting on a good profit. He's wants to know what to do, whether he can buy more shares of this. Well, Rajat, let's go to you for a short-term call on ONGC. What would you say on that? And then Astha, over to you, long-term. Rajat, over to you first.
The short-term, it is showing range-bound movement. If it were to fall below, say, 250, then it will go further down and test something like 235 to about 220. And on the upside, it needs to take out 280 for a minimum. If it manages to do that with a lot of good volume, volume-based buying supporting it, then you can expect 295 to about 300. But if somebody has already accumulated some profits, I would suggest booking profits here. That is the short to medium term outlook on this.
Okay, and Astha?
Long term, it's looking good, but yes, in the short term, I think one can book partial profit and just see the results. Although in the long term, our view is positive on the back of a 5% CAGR growth, which we are building on in their production, basically. But again, looking after the huge profit the investor is making right now, our stances book partial profit and hold partially for the target of around 300 to 305.
Okay, all right. Well, on that note, we need to wrap up on the show. But do remember to email us your queries. We'll address them with our experts. Thanks, Rajat, as well as Astha, for joining in and answering all of them this afternoon. Stay tuned for Closing Bell. We'll take you through the last hour of trade.